my name is Fairbank, and I'm the Chief Development Officer for Distribute Aid. To give you a little bit of operational context, due to both state conflict and natural disasters, there's been an enormous increase in the amount of refugees worldwide. We can see this with there being 3 million asylum claims in Europe between 2015 and 2017, and a total of 65 million forcibly displaced people worldwide in 2016. That's the context we're operating in, and our users are the aid organizations that are seeking to help solve this refugee crisis. Our co-founders, Taylor and Sarah, went on a customer discovery trip this summer, visited over 30 organizations across 7 different countries in Europe, and they found these 4 key takeaways. And these takeaways can be demonstrated when we talk through an example of one of the organizations that they worked with. Movement on the Ground is a Dutch NGO that operates with a large number of other NGOs on the Greek island of Lesbos. They are working to help with the refugee camps there, and they operate in extreme conditions. So for example, to access Wi-Fi, they have to beam it off of a water tower from a town that's 4 kilometers away, and up to 1,000 people are trying to connect to that Wi-Fi at any given time. They also have a high rate of turnover, with their volunteer staff being the main part of the organization. They switch out every 2 to 5 weeks, and even their core administrative staff has a turnover of a couple months. And finally, because they operate in these conditions, they're extremely adaptable to change. So our solution is to provide a set of digital tools that will help these refugee aid organizations operate more efficiently and effectively. And our primary goal is to connect collectors, transporters, and distributors of aid. There are the 4 main categories of tools that we use in our platform. The first is discovery. So these aid organizations work in different countries. They have language barriers, their contact info may not be up to date, and they have to make sure that the companies that they're working with are trustworthy. So our discovery tools allow these aid organizations to make connections and build relationships. The supply chain tools deal with logistics, so things like inventory management and shipment tracking. Knowledge sharing allows organizations to share best practices so that new organizations don't have to reinvent the wheel when they're coming in. And finally, volunteer management allows digital onboarding for volunteers so that staff don't have to spend their time doing that. In regards to development, our software is open source. We are releasing 1 new tool every month. We're also trying to make this a very low-cost barrier to entry for these extremely busy, overworked organizations. So we're minimizing data entry. We are putting in all the data and building the profiles for the organizations. They just have to edit them. Also, the extras matters. We're focused on security, testing to continuously improve our tool, and finally, usability. The value that we add, the first aspect we can look at is financial. So with our projections from a bottom-up market analysis of Europe, we predict that we can have a 1.3 million euro total value add in 2019. And this translates to more than just money. This is hundreds of thousands of refugees being helped through our products. We're also focused on Sustainable Development Goal 11 with the reuse of both physical goods and of knowledge. Physical goods are reused throughout our process, and in terms of knowledge, not only is our software open source, but also we are building a platform and a database of best practices from organizations to reuse that knowledge. In regards to traction and scaling, in 2018, we're focused on the building process. We've done customer discovery, we've been beta testing our first set of tools, and we're making manual efforts to build our network. In 2019, we're still focused on Europe. So we're targeting specific hubs that already work together, trying to get them to adopt our software, and then relying on the network effect to spread Distribute Aid. In 2020, we want to scale worldwide. So this will be an operational shift where instead of us running the software, we're going to help regional partners adopt Distribute Aid and adopt the software. We want to make sure we have regional partners that know the context of the situation in the geographical area that they're in. In regards to sustainability and risks, our operating costs are projected at 46,000 euros a year. With that baseline cost, we could continue to exist in Europe perpetually. And we believe that that can be covered by our 2019 revenue projections, primarily based off of the subscription model that's software as service-based. In our 2020 revenue, we want to double to 92,000 euros, and that would be so we can financially support our global expansion and help financially support our partners on the ground in different areas. Our primary risks fall in the area of market and funding. So our market risk is that there is a lot of high both personnel turnover and aid organization turnover in this market. And so with that, we want to first target the most stable, long-lasting groups to try and get them to implement our software. And then also with personnel turnover, we want to have a wide variety of tools that multiple people in one organization will use, so there's not just one person that knows distribute aid, and when they leave, our product will be lost. In addition to that, there are some funding risks. There's not a lot of funding in our market, so we have to make sure to keep costs low at every step of the way. Our team members, our two co-founders, are Sarah and Taylor. Sarah has a background in international development and has done significant research on refugees and migrants. Taylor is a full-stack developer. He was a member of Y Combinator and previously ran his own startup that did medical scheduling operations. The rest of our team is primarily volunteer-based. We have 5 core members that do design, software development, things of that nature, and then our other volunteers are coders and translators. And finally, we're currently in the process of building our advisory board, and we've been talking to a number of experts in their field, especially the leaders of other international NGOs. My background has been working primarily with poverty in the US and worldwide, focused on homeless youth, and I'm currently getting a master's in global governance and diplomacy at Oxford. So that's our core team. We're mostly made up of volunteers. We're extremely passionate about the work that we do, and we're excited to see what impact Distribute Aid can make in the future. Thank you.
Can I see the platform? Is it ready?